Hi guys, this video, I would make sure this video is not an edited video, and I just want to express my mind as much as I feel without it being uncut, like without me having to think about it. Because yeah, and this video will be about confidence. Sometimes, I would say most times, I seem to worry a lot. Most time I think about, even though I've achieved so much for myself, I still feel like there's this there's there has to be somewhere I need to be that I'm not at the moment. And when I see people, this is not me comparing this. Okay, I'll take it. I'll say this is me comparing myself to other people right now. But sometimes we are all human, right? And then you see yourself with this wealth of information, you know, having a first degree in food science and technology, having your second degree in business, having your CIPD certification in people practice, have wealth of experience in commercial financial market, into property management. You know, you have all this information, and then you see someone with less of this information doing so well, and then you start to wonder what's going on. Even at my workplace, I realize sometimes I've contributed immensely at my workplace, but I feel within me that I'm not being appreciated. Even though you get all these thank you, you've done so well, even though my praise are, maybe I'm the one that's not internalizing it. Maybe I'm being liked, but I'm not being respected. I'm not just very sure of what exactly is happening. And for me personally, I've thought about, like I said, in this video, I just want to share my vulnerability. This video would be about vulnerability, share my vulnerability. And I realize the more I keep it to myself, the more damage this has really caused in me. Because, you know, I've watched some videos about confidence, gaining confidence, and I've made a lot of research about gaining confidence. And what I've really observed is most of them saying you have to just be yourself, be kind to yourself, be assertive, and all that. And you realize these things do not work until I come across a video by David Goggins and another one by Mel Robinson. The one I came across by David Goggins, I know most of you might have seen his videos on YouTube. If you type discipline motivation, you get to see David Goggins. He spoke so much about discipline and how to gain confidence. If Even though I'm a very big fan of David Goggins, you know, when I'm being when I'm being you know, when real life scenarios, you know, appears, I find it very, very difficult to apply what I've learned. Everything just disappears like a glimpse of air, or if that's the right word. You know, David Goggins, what he said was, to gain confidence, you have to do something that sucks. Things that you are really scared of. Whenever you feel scared about something, then go for it, do it. That's where confidence is being built. You have two options. Is that you fail or you get it right. Is that you fail or you get better. I've seen a couple of my friends, you know, they just get some jobs, some high paying jobs, you know, and you see them, they be like, oh, this. Why don't you try? But I struggle with perfectionist belief, and it took me a lot of time to realize I'm struggling. I didn't even know I'm struggling because most of the time I spend so many time trying as much as possible to prepare. This is my life I'm talking about now. I spent so many time to prepare, And this Mel Robinson gave me the clarity in what David Goggins have been saying. Confidence is a skill you gain just by trying. Confidence is a skill you gain just by trying. It's not some kind of 5-way steps or so. It's just something you gain by trying. You don't have to think about it, because at that point, when you start thinking about it, you start thinking perfectionist belief, imposter syndrome, all these negative things begin to set in. But when you give it a shot, and this is evidence, when you give it a shot, is either you fail, but at least you tried, or you get it right. And if you don't get it right, you've done it before, and you can always get better. And this is evidence for my workplace. Anytime my CEO, the CEO at my workplace, just have a friendly conversation without informing me before, without setting up a Teams meeting, we just have a friendly conversation on how we can better develop the project I'm currently working. The project, the department in which I currently work in my organization, how we can develop the project. When we're just having not a pre-planned meeting, when we are just having a chit chat, I realize I do pretty well because it's on court. I did not prepare for this. But at that point, where she set up a Teams meeting, maybe 2 weeks, 1 week, I realize what I do is I start preparing. And when I start preparing, this is where all this thought of overthinking, perfectionist belief, I just want to be perfect, I want to speak in a certain way, I want to have a very good communication skill, forgetting all these great qualities that is imbibed in me, which can come freely if I just let it. Don't forget, whenever she doesn't set up this Teams meeting, whenever she just is not pre-planned, I do brilliantly well. My contributions, I see my contribution on the SMT level from things they are doing. I see that this is my contribution. But at that point, when it's pre-planned, anxiety takes over, and then you can see me whenever I need to talk. You can see me, speaking so fast, not getting really comfortable. Even though I have so much to say, but I just want to let it out at a go. Even if I let those words out, deep within me, I know this is not or this is not how I really want to, air my opinion. This was also evidence in my theory when I did my my practical test for driving. Whenever my driving instructor, the person that was teaching me at that time, goes with me, I did it 3 times before I passed. I passed at the 3rd time. Whenever it went with me the first time, I failed. It went with me the second time, I failed. It was the last time when I went there alone. It was the last time when I go there alone, if that's right. Oh, sorry. I told you this video is about vulnerability, so it's no problem for me. When I went there alone, that I passed the test. What have I learned from that? Is, it's the confidence you do just by trying, without having to think about it. When somebody was there with me, he's always saying, you have to pass. You've done well with the training, you have to pass. If you don't pass, you do this. So it's managing the expectations that is in my head. What would this person say? What would that person say? So it's all like a fog in my head that affects me from concentrating on what that needs to be done. So when I went there alone, the contribution, my focus was, okay, if I fail, I fail. It doesn't matter. Nobody knows I'm here anyway. And that's when I shine. That is when I shine. Even though when I landed this job I'm currently talking about, no expectation, I just went there. I didn't get the job. I applied for an HR role, but because of my performance during the interview, I wasn't get because I couldn't at that time. I I can't use HR softwares. HR software. I'm not. I can't use it at that time, so that's why I couldn't get the job. So I was offered another role, and that's the role I'm currently working on. So that's the situation. Like confidence is something that develops with you just trying, putting out your vulnerability out there. Okay, if I fail, I fail. Another thing is I realize sometimes when I used to take alcohol, because then back then I take a lot of alcohol just to gain confidence. I realize whenever I take alcohol, I do pretty well. In fact, I would say exceptional. Is that exceptionally? Yeah, like extremely well. Whenever I take alcohol, I put my opinion out, and people begin to look at me. Wow, what's this person saying? It's amazing, because it was on court. I don't have to think about it. I realize whenever you take alcohol, it gives you this confidence. It's still the same person. You are still the same person talking, but it gives you this confidence. Like, okay, I don't care about who needs to hear. I don't care who's in front of me. I just want to speak. And that was it. I realized this has been my issue. I want to be seen a certain way. I want to get this job. I want to. But watching video from David Goggins, who made me realize confidence is built by doing what sucks, what you feel, what you know is difficult, but by doing it, that's where confidence is built. I, I, that was an eye opener for me. But I got to realize this when I watched the video, the podcast from Mel Robinson. That cemented everything David Goggins was saying, and it was that phrase that phrase that said confidence is a skill that is built by trying. You can never lose confidence. It's built just by trying, you know. And he came up with this five. She came up with this five rule. I think 5 rules or something. I told this video is about vulnerability, so pardon me. I'm not an excellent communicator, so pardon me. I'm just talking. It's just my opinion. So she said these 5 rules of gaining confidence. Whenever you have an opinion, maybe in class, at work, whenever you have it, when you have an opinion, you have an opinion. Most times you want to say something. Whenever, don't think about it. Just count down from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and raise up your hand or whatever. Just stand up and say whatever. Knowing fully well you might fumble. Knowing fully well you might have rashes. You might have dry mouth, just like I'm having right now. But however, you embrace that because you understand that confidence is built just by trying. And if I am to take this back to my life, this has been that I've really been doing, but I don't have the understanding. Because when I realized, maybe the first time, when we're having a Teams meeting at work, I realized the first time I speak, I might mumble a bit, but the second time, it's always perfect. That was because I already tried, and now it's getting, but rather than making this lack of confidence overwhelm me, like trying to avoid every single time. I've had some of my colleagues negotiate their pay. But for me, I didn't negotiate my pay. It amongst great contribution I've made in the department where I currently work, I didn't negotiate my pay because I don't have the confidence. This is me showing my vulnerability because I don't have the confidence. Despite my skill, it was the CEO after my appraisal that decided to increase my pay because of the contribution I made. Meanwhile, it might even be more if I had negotiated that. I want to be liked, but I'm not respected. It should be the other way. You should be respected for what you do, and then you get liked for what you do. This is even better to be respected than to be liked. When you are trying to make people like you, that means you are trying to conform. You are trying to make them love you. For all these things I'm saying, it's not. They are just uncut from my head, and this is me showing my vulnerability. And I believe someone out there would also be struggling with this. I'm not a professional communicator. I'm not an excellent communicator. This channel will just be about sharing my vulnerability, and I believe I'm not alone. There's billions of people in this world. I can't be alone in this journey. So it's just one thing that I've realized that is lacking in my life when I did my personal development plan, and I say, okay, confidence. Okay, I mixed all this knowledge I have. I think confidence is what is lacking. And I hope you find this video helpful. And I will not be editing this video. The reason why I won't be editing this video is this is my first video. I want to see my progress. Like I said, this is me showing my vulnerability. So I want to see my progress. I get better in the next and the next, and then I can look back to this video one day and say, okay, this is how I started and this is where I am at the moment. Thank you. God bless.